They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Fat Man.
What up? Welcome back to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones. And in this one, let's go ahead and add another figure to my McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. Now this time it will be Lex Luthor in the Darkseid armor from the Darkseid War. Now this was released alongside with the power suit Lex Luthor. I will be getting to that one. But I was more anticipating this one. Now on the reviews I've seen, it's been a mixed bag. Some people prefer the power suit, traditional color scheme. And a couple of people have actually preferred this version, and they said that it's just a little bit more fun. Now, I'm gonna like both, I know that, but I was just really anticipating opening up this one. Now, I do know this version is actually just a one-shot depiction in the comics where it's showing like a future where pretty much Lex Luthor is almost overcome by the power of Darkseid and is in complete power. But there is also the other version where Lex Luthor is more like a Superman type character, where he wears the cape and he has his normal Lex Luthor head, but with this armor. So it is, you know, McFarlane has been known to take scenes, just one panel of a comic, and make a figure out of it. So I do come to expect that from him. But this guy looks pretty ominous in his packaging. But let's go ahead and take a look at him. But first, he does come with your standard black DC Multiverse stand. Now, it's not needed, but sometimes they do come in useful. He also comes with his data file card. On the front, we do have some pretty epic figure photography. Now, they use a little bit of added effects to hang that mother box. But actually, this is one of the best figure photography representations of the figure. I really like this one. Even though I do prefer that they use images from the comics, this would have been awesome. But I mean, it is what it is. The only thing the only like positive I could say about the figure photography is that we are giving somebody work. Like, if we were to cut out the figure photography, the person that works for McFarlane doing this and making some pretty cool epic shots of the figures would, you know, be out of work, and then we'll go back to the regular. Now Todd would be paying more for the rights of the images of the comics instead of paying somebody to do this photography. So it is what it is. We'll add this to the collection. Now, one thing that everybody has been going on about, and that is the accessory that he comes with, and that is the Darkseid throne. Now, this is pretty awesome. I mean, aside from the orange color scheme, I mean, that's cool and all, but I would really imagine this more like in a gray with like black on the inside in the indentations. That way it would bring out more, that's really more like a Darkseid thing. So I am picking up 2 more of these from Big Bad Toy Store. And once I open the other one, I am probably gonna go ahead and custom paint it gray to make it look more like stone. But then I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it. But once I have it like that, you know, that's just a plan that I have in my mind. But this is a really awesome accessory. Now, I hear a lot of people complaining because the other figure comes with extra hands and this one doesn't. But trust me, this suit, the sculpt work for that the mold for that had to cost a pretty penny. So I know that the other one has more paint apps and this one has, you know, less paint apps. But I take that into account of that the cost of this is, you know, why there's not really that much paint apps on here and why he didn't get extra hands, and that is for the cost of this. Now, I have seen people already selling this figure on his own for $20. I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine. But I mean, eventually these are going to be abundant and you'll be able to pick up the throne and the figure for $20. So that's pretty much, I wouldn't be doing that if I was anybody, but do what you want. But pretty awesome accessory. That is going to be, you know, this one's going to go down as a legendary accessory from McFarlane. So let's go ahead and take a look at him. Now, I knew from the start I was gonna love this figure. This is awesome. Just the right off the bat, the intricate sculpt work and the details that went into making this, mold is just awesome. And even the head sculpt, people say like, well, why didn't he make this suit with the regular Lex head and then with a cape? If that doesn't come for us, that's an easy custom to do. And ironically, the old Mattel one that is exactly like this one, it came with both heads. It came with the Lex Luthor head and it came with the Darkseid head. So, I'm really loving the sculpture of the head sculpt for this one. I just really like it. It has a lot of detail. I mean, it's just creepy and sinister looking. It's just awesome. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Look at the like halfway between Lex Luthor and Darkseid. He's starting to darken up there around the eyes and the like wrinkles and depthness to the sculpture in the face. It's just really digging that head sculpt. I mean, because me, I'm more like a darker person, so I like things like that are like creepy and tend to lean more to the evil side. But let's check out his articulation. Now he does look up, not too much, but enough. He does look down really well. You got left to right. And then you can tilt his head for some attitude. Now, one thing I did notice is that this head seems to have like some clicking. More than other heads. Like the other heads are really smooth and it doesn't hinder the articulation, but you could feel it like clicks, when you move it around. Like it doesn't hinder the articulation at all, so that's fine. But you could feel that stiffness in the joint. Really surprised to pop this off and see what it looks like on the inside, but maybe later on. Coming down to the chest, you have that awesome Superman inspired chest emblem. It is embossed and raised, which is pretty cool. That's, sculpt work coming from McFarlane. It's not just, painted on there or slapped on there. So that's really nice. The sculpt work all around the suit and everything is really, really good. I mean, you could see the attention to detail. I mean, I'm really enjoying it. Let's check out the waist movement. You got left to right. You could turn them. You even have swivel at the waist. You could twist them. Get them in some cool poses. You could lean them back and lean them forward. Pretty cool. Let's go ahead and check out the arm. You do have that butterfly shoulder joint. You got the shoulder pauldrons that are soft plastic and attached to the shoulder, but it does not restrict the movement. You could move his arm up. He does have a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. And then moving down into some pretty sweet gauntlets with some paint detail there, and then moving on into the gloves. And then he does have wrist articulation, and the ball joint is hidden rather well. Really enjoying this figure. Honestly, I gotta say, I'm really enjoying this figure. I really like him. He just has it, everything I love about McFarlane right now. Going down to the waist, you have that Darkseid styled pelvis. And then let's check out his thigh rotation. Pretty good. He has a lot of rotation there, which means you can twist it out and then give him those double jointed knees. Straighten it out. The ankle joint does have up and down. Left to right. And then surprisingly, he does have swivel without any problem at all. And then he does have toe articulation. And just taking one more moment to absorb all of the cool sculpt work done on the lower part of the body, the legs, the shin guards. I mean, Really enjoying this figure. Liking it a lot. Let's take a look at him from the bottom. No tread, but some identifying marks. Moving up the back, beautiful sculpt work. Going up to the back, he has kind of like a spine sculpted in, kind of like armored spine. That's pretty cool. See the helmet from the back there. Really beautifully designed figure. I'm loving the smoothness of the articulation and the high amount of sculpt work and detail in this. It's just the total package. Now, as I stated before, we do have the Mattel release that is kind of a version of this character, kind of not. Of course, this is the collect-to-build figure from Mattel. Now, I said before, he does come with the alternate head of Lex Luthor, but of course I chose to go with the Darkseid styled head. Now, I have been kind of fishing around, like off and on, looking for another one of these so that I could display both heads, but since I really enjoyed this head more, it wasn't like a big priority, but maybe eventually I'll do that. But what you actually can see from looking at these two is that the details that this one has, that this suit is missing, which gives me ideas that I'm going to, go ahead and move forward in custom painting this one, just to add some of the details that are like hidden in this figure that we could expose in this figure. So that's going to be pretty cool. I am going to do that. I'm going to be looking forward to doing that. So that's another project I'm going to add to the schedule. And then, of course, the throne. Now, I do have a lot of figures here, and even this one, I tried to sit them in the throne, and they would not sit correctly. Like all the figures I tried, either their hips were hindered or their feet wouldn't touch the ground. It just, was a lot of reasons that they all could not sit in there. But it's perfectly in the throne. I mean, what more do you want? He sits perfectly in there. We can also add the mother box. It's cool how in the figure photography they have it like up here, like floating, but we might look into doing something like that. But all in all, more than happy with this figure. I'm actually like really appreciative of all the work that went into getting us this figure. Times are tough right now with everything. And just to have the joy of still, collecting figs and, customizing and doing what I usually do is just awesome. Awesome times to be living in. You guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.